Welcome back to the Automation Podcast. My name is Shawn from Insights in Automation. And this week on the show, I meet up with Shahid Javed of Moxa to learn about their new line of industrial PCs.
Shahid, thank you for coming on the Automation Podcast. I'm looking forward to learning more about Moxa products. But before we jump into your presentation, could you take a moment and introduce yourself to our audience?
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you, Sean. My name is Shahid Javed, and I'm a product marketing manager at Moxa. Currently, I'm supporting the industrial PC product line, which includes different form factors of PCs, IoT, and some of the other computing devices. Today, before I start, I'm going to give you a little introduction on the industrial PC, what it is, how is it different from a PC that you and I use at a home or work on, at our home office or for personal use or for business. So industrial PC or an IPC or industrial computer, these are different terminologies we use. These are basically a rugged solution designed to meet demanding environmental requirements, such as protection from liquids and dusts, extreme temperatures, some high shock and vibe applications. Sometimes you have EMI all over the place where you're using this device. So it's a little more rugged or abnormal environment. It's not like placed in a home. It's probably going to be more in an oil field, in manufacturing plants. It could be underwater. It could be up in the space. So a lot of unusual environments. So the components in and the technology around these computers is called industrial grade technology. So all the components and all the qualities, reliability standards, all the testing that's done on these components that make up the computer or the industrial PC, they have very high quality standards. They have very high reliability standards. Of course, you need low power and you need to have fewer components that are moving around, like fans. Fans are used to cool off computers, but industrial PCs do not have fans, so we have a lot of fanless designs. And they have to come and be able to fit in small places. So we have these huge equipments out there, industrial equipment out there, and they have multiple computers, and they just have a very small confined place where you can place these PCs. And plus, a smaller size has less risk of getting, stuck somewhere or getting, broken or damaged. So that's basically what an industrial PC is and how it differentiates from the typical PCs that we have. Also, another thing I like to mention is um, typically the industrial PC manufacturers like Moxa, we support longer life cycles. So a typical PC, home PC may last for 3 years. These things are deployed in remote locations, in remote environments. So the range is from 7 to 10 years. Several industries are using it. You name it, healthcare, like I mentioned, aerospace, military. I mentioned oil and gas, automotive, chemical, semiconductor, and electronics, energy. So most of these industries are using industrial PCs, and they've been using for many, many years. There's also certifications, like specialized certifications that these computers have to go through to make sure that fit within the segment. So for energy, they have some certain certifications. For transportation, they have certain certifications. So it's there's a lot of engineering, there's a lot of quality testing, there's a lot of design, form factors that go into designing these components.
I want to, before we get off this slide for the audio only audience, I did want to point out some of the things they'll recognize, like the EX for explosion proof, IEC, certain IEC requirements. Some of these requirements have to do with transportation specific, and some of these are power specific. So there's all different types of regulations. But I think our audience, the main thing we're looking at is we need that temperature range. We need that shock, vibration, and EFI immunity because these things are in, really rugged industrial applications. Some of them are in utilities. Some of our audience work in the utilities, but most of them are inside manufacturing facilities where it's just, a standard computer. And I think we've all seen them out there. They don't last very long, especially with the temperature swings. I know over the years, so many horror stories of when the plant got really cold, how the standard computers would stop working, or when the plant got really warm. So these units are designed and tested against all those high end, ratings, and that's important. It's an important part of, if you call yourself an industrial PC, then you're going to have those specifications. And I'll go ahead and turn it back to you now.
Yeah, absolutely. I think you summarized it really well. Compared to like business and computers, there's a lot of, and the application landscape is increasing, right? Right now, we're seeing an adoption of cloud application platforms, which means the use of industrial PC as edge core devices to address these changing demands of Industry 4.0. You probably heard of Industry 4.0. There was different evolution of this Industry 4.0. And there's a lot of demand for more compute. More data means more compute, and means more data means more security. So there's a lot of things that are tied to having demanding applications and cloud applications. In recent or past use of industrial applications, people were using or they're trying to get away with the programmable logic controller, like a PLC device. It'll be enough to do what they needed to do. But now with the cloud adoption and also this drive towards Industry 4.0, there's a need for collecting data, not just at that facility or that location, but various data points. And all that data is collected, is normalized, then it's turned into reporting, and then it's shared not only with the control center, but with your customers or with your vendors or with your clients. So there's a lot of need for more compute, and that's why the whole industry is getting a little more sophisticated. But at the same time, we don't want the cost to go up, right? We don't want to increase our costs. We don't want to increase that power. We don't want to increase, all that, total cost of ownership. I was looking for that word. To deploy these devices.
Yeah, it's definitely a time, I think, where the lines are blurred because we're seeing programmable controllers that are running on Linux boxes and Windows boxes again, but we're also seeing small edge computers being put in, taking some of the load off of the programmable controller to do like condition monitoring and analytics. And so it seems like, everything is fair game right now. And vendors like Moxa are designing systems that can be little edge computers. Maybe they're not even running Windows, maybe they're running Linux, all the way up to, high-end servers and everything in between, including panel PCs. And on the same side, there are such a variety of new breed of PLCs on the market that can also be an HMI and a SCADA system, right? There are several PLC vendors out there that can run Ignition on them, right? So it's a very interesting time in this space. And let me turn it back to you.
Yeah, and let me just go a little bit deeper on the Industry 4.0. Somebody was asking me this question the other day, and it's like, what is the industry, the first revolution, the second, third, fourth? So I thought I should share this with the audience. Steam, steam propelled the original industrial revolution, and then it was followed by electricity or electric power. Then we came with some machinery and some automation. That was the third revolution. And now in the fourth one, we have cyber, physical systems, we have intelligent computers, we have cloud, we have artificial intelligence, we have machine learning, we have the VRs or augmented reality, robotics, 3D automation, renewable energy, and nanoparticles. So it's just getting a little more complicated over time. And this revolution actually started in 2011, and we haven't even gotten started yet, and it's getting so complicated and it's getting so demanding. But you have to improve productivity. You have to reduce costs, but you need that intelligence. You need the performance. So the modern, IPC or in the industrial PC has to provide performance, has to provide, customization, scalability, and, meeting all those reliability and certification requirements. Um, so, and we have to be able to connect, and that was something that was key when at Moxa, when we're trying to engineering products, connectivity was really key here. You want that box, that PC or industrial PC to connect to multiple devices, because like I said before, we need to be able to collect data and then share that data from different devices, and then normalize it and then turn it into decision making reports. So this whole revolution has driven a lot of design changes, not just at the processing level, right? So if you're looking at an Intel-based, industrial PC, from dual core to quad core to 8 cores, so that has also evolved, but the design on the actual computer has also evolved.
I think a lot of these computers, one of the nicest trends I've seen, I build my own computers. I've been building them since they started coming out. But one of the nice trends is you're seeing a lot of these IPCs come with not only gigabit ports, but they're also coming with Wi-Fi and Bluetooth. Again, not if you're trying to reduce costs, but you're seeing more and more of these features. And one trend I like by some companies like Moxa is to continue to offer legacy connection options. Everything's not Wi-Fi, everything's not Ethernet, right? We need other options because sometimes we have systems that are legacy and we just can't get rid of them. So let me go ahead and turn it back to you.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, let me just dive into the market. What's the market trends? What's the market landscape? So from various report, I've gathered this. The industrial PC market is still a pretty good market. I mean, we are at $35 billion this year, with a 7% compounded annual growth rate. So it's pretty good. It's a fast-growing market. We see, like I mentioned earlier, in automation, AI, IoT, cloud computing, edge computing, analytics, 5G. All these technologies are driving the demand for industrial PCs. So we see this market continually growing and doing better over the years. With that, I'm going to just step into Moxa. How are we enabling this connectivity for this transformation, right? How are we making sure that we are creating the products and the solutions that the customers are adopting? So we have been Moxa is a leader in edge connectivity. We are a leader in industrial computing, network, infrastructure solutions, and we have about 35 years of experience in the industrial compute. So in industrial computing, with the networking, switching, and compute, we have about 35 years of experience. We have 94 million devices, deployed worldwide, in about 85 countries. We have a huge network of distributors, support, and we have been doing this, and we have designed a lot of products, a lot of new products, and we strive to become a one-stop product portfolio. So we have edge connectivity, we have industrial computing, we have network infrastructure, and then we also have software and security, to make sure that we have all the components that are needed for design. So if you look at the whole connectivity landscape, I don't want to go into details here, but you see, whether it's factory automation, oil, gas, power, transportation, marine, or rail application, it all starts at the field, at the facility, right? Where you have your equipment deployed, you have to have computers, you have to have networking and connectivity devices, and then all that stuff is fed through different layers in applications and different layers to the control centers, and then all the way up to the control center or the executive networks. So I mean, there's a lot of compute, there's a lot of components that are needed, and Moxa has in the last 20, 30 years, we have played in every level of this ecosystem. So We have a lot of products, we have a lot of solutions specifically for the industrial PC market. So now I'm going to go over our new industrial PC product lines. And like I mentioned, we have a lot of computers, industrial computing products, but we are launching a new series of new generation products for the industrial market. So over the years, our strength, like I said, has been in creating and designing highly differentiated and customized or tailored products for our customers, which required special engineering, tailored design, and special certifications for their requirements. This year, Moxa Corporate invested a huge amount to develop more cost-effective and at-scale offering to the industrial PC market. And we definitely wanted to keep our core values of reliability, quality, and technology that we've acquired over the last 35 years into this particular segment. So we call it the new generation of general purpose industrial PC product line. And rather than being highly differentiated from a design or form factor or specification standpoint, this will allow our customers to sell into not only existing application, but also expand into new markets. So the markets that I mentioned, the industrial markets, there are a lot of markets which don't fall between small business and your home computing and industrial. There's this gray area between industrial and home or business computing where these products could also fit perfectly because of the capabilities that we have provided. So we have these products, and we have actually released them just recently in 3 form factors. So we have the DIN rail form factor, which we call the RKP Series. Then we have the box type form factor, we call it the BXP Series. And then we also have the rack mount series, which is the RKP series. Now, all these form factors and product lines that can scale from dual core Atom, so this is the Intel Atom processor, to 11th generation Core i5 or i7 processors. So these are the latest processor technology we're bringing into the market just this year. And we do have a lot of configuration options in this particular product line. If we do the math, we have these 3 form factors, the DIN rail, the box, and the rack mount. Then we have 5 CPU offerings, which is Intel Atom processor, whether it's a dual core or a quad core. Then we have the Celeron processor. Then we have Intel Core i5, Intel Core i7 offering. And then, like I said, because of the connectivity, we have several Ethernet port, serial port, video port, USB, digital input, digital output type capabilities that are available for this product line. So just to give you an example, right? This is our a box type computers, which is the BXP series that I mentioned earlier. So it has, a couple of serial ports, some USB ports, HDMI port, an Ethernet port, and then RS-232 port, right? And it has 2 Ethernet ports. What we've done is give options to our customers based on their applications. We have created pre-configured form factors. So your lead time has gone down significantly now. Plus, you get the ability to have, instead of 2 LAN lines, you have 4 Ethernet lines, right? You have multiple serial ports, or you can have, multiple Ethernet lines and, fewer serial ports, or vice versa. So we have designed this and developed these products so you can purchase different configurations off the shelf. And depending on your application and your application requirements, you can pick and choose the model that best suits your application. So let me just go to the next slide, which is pretty much just showing the ease of configuring the device that you're looking for. So let me just give a little, deep dive on these products. So let's go over the BXP series, which is the box type fanless design. So one thing I want to mention before I go into the features and the bells and whistles of these product lines is that this Moxa is always looking for the latest technology. So we are using the 11th generation core CPU from Intel, or the 6th generation of Atom CPU from Intel. And these are both the latest generations for industrial compute. And the new 6th generation Atom processor, which was codenamed Elkhart Lake, I believe, at Intel, it has the Atom N6000 and J6000 parts, and that's hence we call it X6000, or the 6th generation Atom processor. Now, they don't replace the Intel Atom C300 series. Instead, they are 2 or 4 core parts, which means that they have lower power for industrial embedded applications. So one of the requirements, remember I mentioned earlier, is that we need low power for industrial PC, and this processor actually does that. So architecturally, this is very interesting. Intel is using a glued CPU with an IO die or PCH, and the Atom cores can run ARM-based applications on these. So if you have a Windows application, we can run those on these processor as well. If you have an ARM-based or Linux application, we can do those on these computers as well. So we are offering a high performance, a better raw performance at lower power consumption. And the 6th generation Atom is going that's going to be supported as well in all 3 configurations. So the rack mount, the DIN rail, and the box type, they'll have different configurations, and you can pick and choose the processor that you need for your application. So coming back to the BXP series, basically it has the, like I said, the 11th generation Intel Celeron or Intel Core i5 or i7 processor. We have a rich set of interface options, including up to 10, RS-232, the 422 or 485 serial ports. We have up to 10 gigabit Ethernet ports, so you can have 2 to 10 Ethernet ports. We have 4 digital inputs and 4 digital outputs for that. We have a dual storage design that includes either a CFast and SD slots for easy storage expansion. There's also one thing, like I mentioned, with compute comes, security challenges as well. We have built in TPM 2.0 module that secures the platform from any unauthorized access. The second one in this series is called the DIN rail. So that's the DRP series. So we have, again, it has those processor options. We can do Intel Celeron Core i5, i7 processors or Atom processor integrated into it. It has 8 software selectable RS-232 or 422 or 485 serial ports. It has, up to 10 gigabit Ethernet ports. So in this diagram, you can say, how each box has a different type of form factor configuration based on your needs. The communication interfaces are located in the front and the rear side of the product because it's a DIN rail. It's a DIN rail mountable computer, so it gives you easy access and also expansion for industrial application. Similarly, it has the CFast and SD slots available. The industrial grade operating temperature, and also a built-in TPM 2.0 module to secure the platform from any unauthorized access. And the third series that I mentioned was the rack mount. It's called RKP Series. Again, this has it fits into your 1U, and it has the up to 12 gigabit Ethernet ports. Yeah, it has 12 gigabit Ethernet ports. So you can have actually 12 devices attached to this particular equipment, and they'll all have their own MAC addresses. They'll all be like independent, so you don't need to have switching equipment to expand. It has, the 10 software selectable serial ports. It had 8 digital input and outputs, And the communication interfaces are also located on the front of the panel, again, to enable easy access. It has SSD. It also has an external replaceable RTC battery design, to deliver versatility. Also, like I mentioned, this is a rack mount, so designed as a 1U fanless rack mount computer. And actually all the computers we have, the box, DIN rail, and the rack mount, they're all fanless, because I think that's pretty much a requirement in industrial PC. And it also has that built-in TPM 2.0 for security. Now, what we've done is one of the benefits, and this is something that Moxa really put some time and effort into, is making the customer, the experience of ordering these parts. There's processing, there's form factors, there's all these interface options, configurations, memory, and OS. We have made a tool which is online so you can actually pick and choose the right processing power, the right configuration, and the right storage or memory and operating system that you require. So it's a step-by-step process. You pick the form factor, whether it's a rack mount or DIN rail or a box type. Then you pick your processors. You pick the amount of memory or storage you need. You pick the operating system you need, and then it configures the part for you. And then if it's available, it's in stock, we can ship it out to you immediately, and we'll give you a price, and we'll give you a timeline when you will be receiving it. So just trying to make life easier for our customers to make sure you order the right configuration that works for you. And if you need help, we are always here. Like, I'm product marketing. I'm always working with customers on their applications, on their design, on configuration, and just make sure they have the right system. Sometimes they're looking for a core processor and say, hey, might want to go with an Atom processor because it may perform much better and has a lower cost. So we work with customers to make sure they have the right configuration for their application and it meets their business requirements. Now I want to go over a couple of use cases. So just to show the audience where these industrial boxes or rack mount or DIN rail type computers are being used today and could be used in some of the applications. So PCB manufacturing is one of the things that I picked up. So you could connect. So you see the computer. It's a DIN rail computer right in the middle. It has, like I said, several things connected to it. You have a keyboard, you have a mouse, you have an LCD display. Then you have other systems also connecting to it through your LAN ports. You have some sensors. Industrial applications have lots and lots of sensors. So you have sensors connecting via the PLC or directly with the computer. So that's one application where you can use this computer, and you don't need any. So because of the connectivity options, different connection options with Ethernets and USBs and digital input output, etc., VGA, you don't need to have multiple equipments. So that's one application in factory automation. The second one would be a retail setting. There could be a gas station, a grocery store, or anything alike, where you have one PC, and you see we have a lot of serial ports because the RS ports are used for gas pumps. They still use RS-485, so you can have eight or 10 ports, each connecting to a gas pump. Then you have your barcode scanners, your keyboard, your mouse, your display, printer, card readers, magstripe readers, and maybe somebody who wants to get into the computer and like from somebody, an owner who has several gas stations, to get access to the computer. So you can use a box type PC, which fits right, comfortably in your drawer or a small closet or cabinet. It has 10 COM ports. It has 2 lines and 6 USB ports. Has 11th generation Intel Core i5 or Atom processor available for you. So that's another application that these products can be used. And the last one, actually, this is a nice one. I had an opportunity to visit one of the metro stations or the train stations, and I was amazed how the fare gates, where you pay the fare and you walk through the little plastic glass gates, each of those has a computer. Each of those has an industrial PC, which is a box type that slides right into the gate. So in this application, you can have, a couple of BXP, which is the box type industrial computer. It could be attached to your ticket machines, card vending machine, your fare gates, like I mentioned, and then you don't have to have, because of the time, because of the space constraints, you cannot have, multiple pieces of equipment in those fare gates. So there's a very nice place to just slide one box PC in each of those slots, and then you still have some room to, put your wiring and make sure that wiring is done correctly. So there's a lot of applications where these PCs could be used. And the good thing about this new product that we are launching is that you have various connectivity options and various configurations that you can purchase. So yeah, here's one example. And Shawn, this is referring to one of your questions you asked. So here we have, instead of having a couple of extension devices, instead of having three, you can have all in one. And if you need more support, you need power, it takes more space, and of course it costs more if you have three compared to one device. And lastly, I want to just close off and let you know about, just close about why Moxa for IPC. So like I said, Moxa has been focused on industrial PC. So we're one of the companies, one of the very few companies, probably one of our unique differentiators, that we are focused only on industrial compute. And we have been doing this for 35 years, and we have, close to 100 million devices connected around the world. So we have not just industrial PCs, we have, networking solutions, we have connectivity solutions, or edge connectivity solutions. And we are in this for long term. So reliability, certification, cost effectiveness, technology advancements, working in various industries and being certified in various industries. And lastly, not the least, is best in class support. With that, I thank you very much.
Yeah, I thank you. I mean, it's interesting to see, especially the option to have so many COM ports. If you have older equipment or equipment, 485 equipment, but also the ability to have lots of Ethernet ports. And I especially like having two MAC addresses, one to go to your plant network and one to go to your actual maybe to your MES or your historian or your office network. So it's definitely lots of options. And for those of you who are not watching, I know a good quarter of our audience is listening. Um, these PCs are full of ports. You can't really picture it until you actually see it, how many ports they have. So again, you don't have to get the one with all the ports in it. You could get with the one with less ports in it, and that's where their IPC configurator selector on their website comes in. But in any case, no, I really appreciate you coming on, Shahid, and walking us through all of these products, and really appreciate your time today.
Thank you, Shawn. My pleasure.
Well, I hope you enjoyed that episode, and I want to thank Shahid for coming on the show and bringing us up to speed on their latest line of industrial PCs. Now, if you did enjoy this episode, please give us a like, a sub, and a share. That is the fuel that keeps this show on the air. And also, if you want to join our community, you can do so over at automation.locals.com. And as always, you'll find all of my online training courses over at theautomationschool.com. With that, I want to wish you an awesome week ahead and encourage you to stay courageous, stay fearless, and until next time, peace.